Is this thing on?
I'm getting this one out.
Alright, we can get that one out. I don't really know what they are,
It's in a different language.
but it's got a heap of donuts on it.
Is this a donut chip?
I don't know. That makes sense to me.
Is there mini donuts in here? I'll tell you. Oh, it's extremely hard to fucking open.
Jesus.
Need to get some force behind it.
You might just have to rip it. Yeah, there we go. God, what is it?
Oh, it smells a bit like peanut butter.
That's
They're
promising.
all the same. They're not different. Like,
Oh, okay, that's a bit misleading.
they look like. Oh, it literally smells like peanut butter.
Oh, okay, so it's like a donut-shaped chip. That's pretty cool. It does smell exactly like peanut butter. Like, not even a peanut butter flavoured thing. It just smells like peanut butter.
It's like.
Oh, the mic.
Like, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It tastes like It really tastes of something really familiar. Like, it's like a little biscuit, and it's pretty bland.
Okay.
Just taste it.
Like a milk arrowroot or something?
No, I don't know. It doesn't taste bad, but I couldn't eat a whole thing of them.
I know exactly what you mean. What the fuck biscuit is that? Like a ginger snap?
All right, what are we doing?
The texture's nice.
The album review.
I like these. Yeah, your album review.
I did Slowthai's
Oh, that's right.
Tyron.
Yep.
I think that's his name. Tyron. Not Tyrone. There's no E on the end. Maybe that is Tyrone. Tyron. One of those can not possibly be wrong. Like, one of them has to be right. Exactly a year after his controversial NME award speech, and the whole debacle that followed.
Wait, what was the speech? I don't really know.
So basically, he went on this awards show, and there was this comedian, a female comedian, that was up presenting the awards, and he basically, some people thought he was being a bit misogynistic towards her,
Oh, okay.
telling her to like smell him and like calling her baby girl or baby something, maybe just
Okay.
baby. And then someone in the crowd was sort of yelling at him, saying like, "Oh, you're being misogynistic." And then he just like went in on this one guy, and then yeah, he basically he got pretty rinsed. And then the next day he said, "I don't want this award. Send this award to," I think her name was like Catherine Brody or something like that.
Okay.
And he's like, no, because it was like Hero of the Year. That's what he won. And then he said, no, like, I don't want this. Like, give it to her.
Okay.
But, the album was released literally a year from that day. Now, they think that it was just coincidental because it was actually meant to be released like a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
A few weeks before this, because this was released like 2 weeks ago.
Mm.
And it was meant to be released like 2 weeks before that. So like a month ago from when you're hearing this.
I'd say it probably is a coincidence. Then.
Yeah. On this, it seems like he's matured and he's grown and he's gotten back to making music that's like sort of raw and personal and moving away from a little bit of the sound that was in Nothing's Great About Britain. And I read an article that spoke about him creating this album sort of as an auditory diary.
Okay.
Where he just puts all his feelings out. And I do agree. I think that is a good way of putting it. So this album is split into two sections. So the first half is in all caps, and then the second half is all lowercase, no caps at all, not even for like the first letter. And obviously that this has like a duality about it. The first half is him being very high energy, like he normally is, like where he's sort of like a punk rapper. And then the second half he goes more into his softer, not softer side, like he's not singing the whole time, but it's much more mellow and lyric heavy, whereas before it's very high energy. It's you'd think about like how can you go from one thing to another like so clearly, like there's no like this could be the middle or this could be the middle, like there's a clear split,
Like
but
one ends and one starts straight away.
But he does a really good job on the last track, which I think is called what is it called? To Die For? Or I don't think it's that. I think I've made that up. What's it called? Play With Fire.
Okay.
And that sort of really brings the momentum down. But I can liken it to an album I reviewed a few years ago, Anger Management by Rico Nasty and Kenny Beats, where it's like a temper tantrum, like the Anger Management. It starts out extremely high
violent.
energy, and then towards the end. But it's like a slow process. So like the first song, 45 Smoke, he comes out saying Bumbleclad dickhead, just like yelling it. And obviously the next song gets a little less and then a little less, and eventually it smoothly transitions so you don't notice it, which is good.
Yeah.
Both sides have highlights for me. In part one, Mazza with ASAP Rocky and Vex are really good, very high energy songs that you want to play again.
I have heard Mazza.
Yeah.
That's a banger.
And I really do enjoy Cancelled, which features Skepta talking about like how you're going to cancel me. Skepta's got 20 awards on his mantelpiece. I feel like he probably has more than that, but it probably rhymes well. And then in the second half, songs like NHS, which has been out for a long time. ADHD, which Slowthai pours out his heart, and when you listen to headphones, it goes from one ear to the other, and it sort of like moves through, and he's like he's in your head, or people have said it's like he's on your shoulder, and he's like walking back and forth between the two sides.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
But overall, the overarching theme, like I said before, is the duality of Slowthai, the duality of both his sound, like sonically on each track, they're very different from each other. But also like his physical and mental state that he's constantly living in. So songs can go from like serious to silly within 2 lines. They can go from profound and extremely deep, talking about suicidal tendencies and drug addiction and mental health problems, to like silly lines about Harry Potter or like little wordplay here and there.
Okay.
And that just for me highlights again the inner turmoil and the struggles that Ty has with just his life in general. So the first half of the album, much like his debut, Nothing Great About Britain, fantastic album. What won him all those awards? He was plaudits around the world. It relies on his extreme energy and sort of the ability to bring out his emotions in such an extreme way. It is like a punk rock like anthem. Like 45 Smoke is just insane. I'm going to play a bit of 45 Smoke, and it's just him exploding, just exuding all this energy. But unlike Nothing Great About Britain, this album is a little bit more introspective, and he talks about himself a lot more, where Nothing Great About Britain had a very outward look on the world. Like, he hated this because of this. He hated the government. He hated this. He hated Britain. There's nothing great about Britain because of this. Where this album, aptly named Tyron, his name, is about himself.
Yeah.
So some people like it, some people don't like it. But yeah, that's basically it. His frustrations with himself, with what's happening to him. Yeah, he channels his frustrations and his thoughts and his ideas, and he puts them all out. So he talks about, like I said before, suicidal tendencies, feeling like a crab in a bucket, which is quite a common theme across artists these days, being called a joke, and being sort of looked at as a joke, especially after his incident, and just in general struggles in life and his mental health. So I will play 45 Smoke, which is the opener to the album, and it's just extremely high energy, and then later I'm going to play a bit of ADHD and read some of the lyrics from that and Play With Fire as well. But here's 45 Smoke.
I really like this. Like it feels high energy.
Yeah.
Oh, that little flow switch up was clean.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Very hard. And then we move into the second half, and this is where Ty's lyrical ability really comes in, and it really comes to the fore, where he sort of cannot rely on what's brought him into the light.
Yeah.
That high energy, where he focuses more on his lyrical ability, which is really good, and it's the technicality of his words and his wordplay is really impressive. On songs like ADHD, the NHS, or NHS. So yeah, I'm going to read a bit of ADHD now. Alright, feed my deficit, life I'm yet to live. Ain't no S&M, I just shake my head. You can't be my friend, living and I'm dead. Caught in Charlotte's web, I can't feel myself. Mind complexity be the death of me. Heavy weaponry at my melon squeezed. I got tendencies, psycho tendencies. Touch me tenderly, heaven. Let me in. I think you got amnesia, and this stress soon giving me alopecia. And I'm
Ooh.
vexed trying to smile like Mona Lisa. Failed to exit like I ain't got a visa. Very
That's
nice.
hard.
It is very nice. I really like the verse from Play With Fire. The second verse, he says, full moon put me in a corner. Had me swinging with a pool cue. I do this for them broke utes. No money in the lunchroom. My brother's in the magistrates. All they know is slang and wait and bang until their knuckles break.
Oh.
Mothers say for Pete's sake, we could only keep Pete safe. Pete's up in the street with the heat trying to bleed grapes. Some people can't see straight, need to find direction. If I clock an interception, Cruyff turn, watch your knees break.
That's hard.
That is very hard.
He didn't need to do that.
Yeah. And then at the end, the outro, it's him talking, and it's sort of muffled behind all these sounds, and you can barely hear him. So he says, sometimes I feel like I've got my head in a blender. Compromise with too many empty promises. If you love the world for its flaws, you'll never be disappointed. You're my everything, and I have no words. I just want to make you proud. Do what you want to do, not what's expected of you. I love you, I promise it'll get better. If anyone's seen Sleep, tell him I miss him dearly. I'm happy being the fucking flower boy. Don't let your mattress swallow you, wallowing, thinking what you're gonna do or gotta do. Fuck the expectations. My heart and mind are at war, and my soul's out here playing piggy in the middle. Why do I feel like I'm holding the short straw?
That's hard. I like that a lot.
Like, it doesn't really rhyme. It's sort of like a spoken word. Some of it rhymes, some of it doesn't. But yeah.
I feel like ending it on, like, feel like I'm holding a short straw, which doesn't even come close to rhyming to anything, really, like, stands out and makes you think about it a lot more.
Yeah. But yeah.
That's nice.
Really good lyricism on the second half. If I do have one gripe with the album, the only feature I didn't like was Dominic Fike, which is a bit disappointing. Obviously, one of my favorite artists at the moment, and I was expecting him to be really good. It was just a bit like, meh.
Like anyone else could have done it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's not really an extremely bad sort of thing.
No.
So overall, I think Ty lost a bit of his edge compared to his debut album in terms of energy and keeping the energy up consistently for a whole album. But that wasn't his sort of goal in this album. That was This album was meant to be different. This album was meant to have a half and a half, and sort of seeing if he could mirror them up. And I think he did that really well. The transition between the two halves was really good, and it's very hard to do either way. We saw Denzel Curry do it like 4 times. But yeah, it's very hard to do that, and I think it was good. The vision was simple: create an album that has a bit of duality, and we've seen duality work really well with certain albums. Frank Ocean, Blonde, really great example. And for that, I got to respect it. He set out a goal. He achieved it in my mind.
Yeah, definitely.
And this is definitely an early contender for Album of the Year. Certainly at the top of the list now. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Oh, wow. Nicely done, Slowthai. I'm definitely going to have to give it a listen. Mazza just randomly came up on, like, autoplay the other day for me.
Mazain!
I got, like, a decent bit into it. And I'm like, what is this? This slaps.
Yeah.
And I saw it's from his new one, and yeah.
There you go.
I'll have to listen to the rest of it then.
Alright.
Alright, well, be sure to check in tomorrow. What do we have?
What don't we have, mate?
We've got our album review of Chris Crack.
Alright.
He's sort of a shared liked artist.
Yeah.
I think we both like him.
Yeah.
I think you've done one of his albums, and I've done one of his albums before, but we haven't reviewed one together.
Yeah. Fair play.
But yeah, be sure to tune in for that. We'll see you then. That's a wrap.